Good morning. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to Mesa Morning Live. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host for today's show. Please welcome, big applause for Mary Cameli.
Good morning, everybody. So good to see you. I think I need to sing, though. My brain keeps saying, sha-la-la-la-la. So thank you for that, Scott. That was awesome. Was he awesome or what? Oh, my gosh. Good morning. My name is Mary Cameli, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the fire chief for the city of Mesa. And Mr. Brady right here is the one who promoted me to that position. I'm forever grateful to Mr. Brady for that. So thank you so much. I know that Forrest Smith, our Assistant Chief Forrest Smith, usually hosts the show. Forrest Smith happens to be in Africa right now, and he didn't want to come back for the show, unfortunately, but he is on a well-deserved retirement after 25 years of service with the fire department. So now he's out looking at giraffes and tigers and lions, and we're right here all together. So I'm winning. This is a fun thing to do for Forrest, but he will be missed, but he will be back here on the show in August. How about that breakfast? The Downtown Rendezvous has made that breakfast for you, and we go there a lot because they're also in the City Plaza building, so we get to eat there often, but they do a phenomenal job for us. Okay, we already kind of introduced Scott Hart to you. You got to hear him sing.
Thanks for spelling my name right, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
2 A's, 1 R.
There you go, 2 A's, 1 R, there you go.
Scott. It means hair in German, by the way.
But Scott, welcome to the Mesa Morning Live Show. This is Scott's first performance, and you did amazing.
Today,
first performance today. Yeah. Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Hawaii. I'm in the restaurant business. I actually just kind of do the guitar thing on the side. I have a flourishing TikTok channel, #ScottyG. I work at Alessia's Italian restaurant, Alessia's Ristorante Italiano on the southeast corner of Higley and Brown. Thank you for the shout out. I'm the general manager there. I've been friends with the owners for 30 years. They finally just decided to run the restaurant correctly and hire me to be the general manager. So
nice.
Please come. We're open Mother's Day 1 to 9, and our reservations are filling up quickly.
And in all honesty, when I heard he works for Alessia's, I heard many wonderful things about their restaurant. We really don't go out to eat Italian because we grew up eating it, and I want to eat a different kind of food, but I will go to Alessia now that I know that Scott's running it.
That is on recording.
Are you cooking too, or just kind of?
Every now and then, depends on who calls in sick.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know when the cook's not there. How about that? All right, well, welcome and thank you. Great job. All right, now I'm excited to really give a special present. We have a special presentation for you. Please help me in welcoming our president and CEO of the Mesa Chamber and Renegade Coffee owner, Mr. Craig Boats. Good morning, Sally and Craig. So good to see you both here. Sally, I'm going to give the floor to you for a minute.
Okay, well, we consider Renegade Chamber West, and we spend a lot of time there, have lots of meetings, but I also don't drink coffee. We drink a lot of chai tea, and a few years ago, somebody had a sandwich for the chamber, so chai tea became our ask, and Craig said, yeah, I'll help you out.
Yeah, you know how it goes with Sally. She says, would you like to do this? And you don't really have a choice but to say yes. But no, we're really happy to. And so what we got to do is we got to make a special chai tea that is the chamber chai, and we change that every quarter so you can come get a different version of a chai tea. And what we do is we give back a portion of the proceeds to the chamber charities, and we're here to do that today.
Thank you very much. We will put that in our foundation, and I believe that is to help our Veterans Committee.
Yes.
So, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you,
you.
Sally. Thank you. When I heard Craig was coming on today, the best coffee drink ever is Bananas Foster, at the Renegade Coffee, and I drive from Signal Butte and Brown to Alma School and University to get the coffee. When my husband says, "Why are you driving so far?" I said, "Because you can't get that drink anywhere." And he didn't pay me to say that. It is true. One of the best drinks. He said that it's one of their most popular. So thank you so much, Craig. We appreciate that. All right, our episode sponsor today is SRP. Salt River Project's here, a longtime supporter of the Chamber, and we're so grateful for that as well. They're a locally community-based nonprofit organization providing reliable, affordable, sustainable water and energy to 2 million people in central Arizona. Please join me in welcoming our guest today, the Manager of Local Government Affairs, Linda Brady.
Down in the street there is silent.
Hi, Linda. Good morning. I'm sorry, I'm learning how to do this, so I'm sorry. Shake your hand. There you go. Thank you, Linda, for being here today. You've been with SRP for a while. How many years have you been with SRP?
I'm new compared to many employees at SRP. I've been there 15 years. Usually employees, when you ask, they've been there 30 or 40. So I'm still a newbie. I just got business cards. You get those when you hit the 15-year mark.
At the 15-year mark, there you go. So you're still a recruit, like a recruit firefighter, still learning the job. Wow, okay, good. Well, welcome. We're so happy you're here. Can you share some of the projects that your organization is currently doing, or some of the things that are going on in SRP today?
Yes. Well, this is probably all utilities in Arizona, and you've probably been reading about it in the papers, and also nationwide, that there is a tremendous need for more energy. And the growth is just going to be phenomenal, that unlike anything that we've experienced before. So I'll give you an example. SRP is 120 years old. So what we've done in 120 years with the power that we've built up, all the generation, all the transmission, the wires, everything, we're going to have to double that in less than 10 years, maybe more than double that in less than 10 years. And again, it's not just us, it's all the utilities. So we're trying to figure that out. That's a big, big lift.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons that for this. One is business expansion, more companies coming to the area. And then two, remember our last 2 summers, how hot they were? We're having hotter summers. And then frankly, just even more people moving here.
Right.
So to do that, you have to look at all kinds of energy sources. You can't just rely on one. So we call it an all-of-the-above approach. And we have solar, wind, other renewables, hydropower, nuclear, gas, geothermal, a lot more. I can't even keep track of them all. It's a lot. But you need that diverse mix so that for gas, for example, you can just fire that up real quickly if you need to. If the clouds cover all the solar and you need suddenly that boost of power, you can use gas. And so having that variety, you can also implement lower cost technology. And in the end, it keeps your power reliable, and then it also keeps costs lower for customers when you diverse.
Yeah, wow. Do you have a lot of customers doing your savings plan, where they pay the same amount per month? Has that been helpful to SRP?
Yes, I do that myself. I save hundreds of dollars a year by doing that.
Yeah, okay, that's a good. How about any plans on the horizon, any new developments at SRP that you want to share with the group?
Sure, there's an interesting project that's going to be a pump storage project, and it's going to be up near Apache Lake, and where we're proposing to build another lake a little bit up higher. And during the day, this is how it works, just very generally, if there's a ton of solar power during the day and you don't need it all at that time, we can use that power to pump the water up into this upper lake. And then we store it up there. And then when we need the power, we can release it and get hydropower from it. Again, so it's a really cheap way to keep costs down, but it will provide a lot of extra power. So that's one interesting project. And
that's a very big project.
I think City of Mesa is involved with that with us. City of Mesa is really tight partnership with.
That's wonderful. We're going to get to that too. Mr. Brady will be telling us all about that as well, for sure. Thank you for what you do. I know that SRP, everybody loves SRP in the summertime when our air conditioners are working. And then when they're not working, do you guys get when the power goes out, and the air conditioner's not working, I'm sure the phones go off.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you for what you do. We're thankful that you have a plan in place and things are working and moving forward with SRP. Linda, I'm going to ask you to stay here for a minute. And this month we have a new opportunity with a commercial sponsor. If I may turn your attention to stage right, I'd like to welcome Norm Duvet from Copa Health. Take it away, Norm.
I work for a nonprofit, so commercial sponsorship is really fun. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Every year it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And for, I think, the 5th year in a row, we have partnered with Fellowship Square, great organization, and the Chamber of Commerce to put together a campaign called 31 Days of Healing. So if you're not following the Chamber on social media or Copa Health on social media, follow us. We've got podcasts that the Chamber's helped us put together. We've got public service announcements every day from all kinds of great people across the county and the state, and we've got a lot of great content. None of us are unaffected by mental health issues, and Mental Health Awareness Month is the time for us to think about it, even though I'm hoping you're thinking about it all year long. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm over there. I've got gift business cards. In fact, my CEO told me if I get rid of them all, she's going to give me a free set of steak knives. So,
Are they Cutco or what? Are they
yeah,
Cutco?
I hope so. I hope so. But anyway, and if you're ever interested in being involved, especially next year for Mental Health Awareness Month, let me or Sally or Myra or Bob know, and we will get you involved. It doesn't take a lot. A couple hours of your time, and you're going to be able to make a huge impact on a lot of people's lives. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Norm. Welcome. Thank you so much, Norm. Appreciate that. So, Norm, you got business cards with how many years on the job there?
24.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Then you're ahead of the game. You're actually ahead of the game. You got him at 15. All right. Thank you, Norm. We appreciate that. All right. Our next guest, right here from Mesa, Arizona. He came in Arizona in 2006, and Mr. Brady came from San Antonio. I'll let you tell him his story, but he has more than 30 years experience in the public sector management. And also, he is the city manager for the city of Mesa for a municipality. We have over 4,000 city employees. He has an annual operating budget, capital budget of $1.8 billion, and a population of over 500,000 people here in the city of Mesa. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Chris Brady to the stage. Mr. Brady, what song are you singing today?
Not.
Okay. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That was on the different script.
From the Brady Bunch.
Oh, that's
No,
right.
that's
There we
right.
go. That
We
works.
can do that. We can do that.
Very good. Mr. Brady, knowing that your time with us is coming to a close, I even hate to say it like that, but he's retiring at the end of the month here. And that's why we wanted to invite you here to Mesa Morning Live to show our gratitude and our appreciation for all you've done for the city of Mesa and for Mesa Morning Live.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we wanted to get as many Bradys on stage as possible. So if there's any more out there, Shauna, we'll just have like the Brady bunch up here.
So it's funny because when we go to, Lynn and I often go to different conferences or State of the City, and everybody thinks that she's my conference wife or my State of the City wife. And we have to sit by each other because people were concerned when they didn't see us next to each other. Something was wrong at the Brady household, so.
Okay, there you go. And we don't want people to worry about that.
Yeah.
Chris, start by telling us a little bit about what did you think of the city of Mesa when you first got here in 2006?
Well, I guess it wasn't as much as what I thought. I mean, that was part of it. It was really what Mesa thought of themselves. When I first got here, before I even started, I had been offered the job. The job had been, the council had made the decision to appoint me to be city manager. And I went back to San Antonio because it was going to be a month or two before I started. And there was this reporter who called me from the Arizona Republic and asked, congratulated me on being appointed a city manager, but wanted my views on something that was happening in the valley. And what was happening is back in 2005, 2006, Google back then was looking for a large building regional headquarters that they wanted to come into the valley. And so all the cities were weighing in on why they were the best. Phoenix was trying to suggest that you need to come to Phoenix or Scottsdale or Tempe, and they were calling all the cities and asking them, hey, what are you going to do to bring Google to your city? And she goes, we called Mesa, and Mesa said, well, we're probably just, that's just probably not for us. We don't think we can compete, and we're not going to make an offer. She goes, what do you think about that? And when you're in Texas, and it's very true, when you're in Texas, you're like, nobody's better than we are. And so I kind of had that attitude. I'm like, well, that's not how we're going to do it when I'm there. And to the credit, we've had great leadership, right, from mayors and council members. And I think what I've seen, both how people that are part of Mesa, including the chamber and everyone here, we've kind of changed a little bit to say, well, we're not just this big suburb of Phoenix, right? We have our own identity, and we can be as good as anybody, and we can compete with anybody. Now, are we the best in everything? No, but do we think we can compete and go out there and bring Apple to Mesa, or bring Google to Mesa, or Gulfstream, or work with Boeing on expanding? Yeah, and we do now, right?
Yeah.
We don't hesitate to say, yeah, we're going to go for it. And with Linda, oftentimes together, the city and SRP are out there competing. When we competed with Apple, it wasn't Mesa and Phoenix or Chandler. It was Mesa versus Malaysia versus Austin, Texas.
Oh.
That's what our competition was. And we have a saying at City Hall. We call it, and you know this, Mary, we call it doing it the Mesa way. And where that came from is when we won the Apple site to come to Mesa, we talked to the people at Apple. Well, what made the difference? They said, because you guys just went out of your way to make sure things went very, very smooth. You got things done very quickly. And they said, they just do it the Mesa way. And so we adopted that, right, Mary?
Yes, yep,
so today in the city of Mesa, that is one of those kind of Nike slogans, right? We say we do it the Mesa way.
Yep.
So that's where it came from.
That's very cool. That is really cool. And yes, Mr. Brady does remind us about the Mesa way, and we do try to honor that and live that every day. Chris, I understand that you have been a huge supporter of this Mesa Morning live show. Can you kind of give us a little...
Yeah, they're right there, all the staff.
Can you give us a little history of how the city of Mesa and Mesa Morning Live and Chamber partnered to get Mesa
It
Morning?
sounded like the previous conversation where Sally said, I could really use some help. What do you think about? It was Sally. I mean, it was like, I'm like, well, sure, why wouldn't I do that? Of course we'll do that. No, so we recognize that it's been a great opportunity for not only the chamber, for the community to have different voices. I remember once, many, many years ago, being here and meeting then the state treasurer, Doug Ducey, who was on the show, and getting ready to run for governor. So, this has, I think, been a great venue for the chamber and for our community, for the businesses. So, yeah, I think it's been a great opportunity to have a venue like this, or have an opportunity to put this on our channel 11. We like that, so that's good.
For sure. Excellent. All right, Chris, I had asked Linda to stay on stage with us because SRP has been such an incredible partner with the city of Mesa for these years. We just wanted to talk about some of the projects that SRP has been doing with the city of Mesa and working together. So Linda, you shared with us some of what you see coming. What are some of the projects that you're excited to see coming here with the city of Mesa?
Well, most of our growth is in the East Valley, including Mesa, so we're working on a ton of projects. There's one in particular that we're working on with Mesa, and that would be looking at the potential of raising Bartlett Dam and adding 115 acre-feet of water if that is successful. And the city of Mesa is one of 23 partners on that project where if that happens, when it happens, a portion of that water will come to the city. So Chris is always looking for the future instead of just looking at the right now. And this is a very big picture view he's looking at. This is going to take years, but when and if it's completed, it will definitely help the city.
You know, Mary, so a lot of people, when you think of SRP, you may first think about power, which, you know, it's rightfully so, but, you know, SRP didn't start getting in the power business. They had the water business first, right? Then they figured out, well, the water can create power and the same users of water. So the partnership with SRP as both our major power provider as well as a water provider is so important. The major reservoirs, the major reservoirs of water in the state, SRP manages all those, and the opportunity to look for additional new sources of water at Bartlett and raising the level of the dam. It'll take years to get there, but you have to start now. And so it's been a great partnership looking to the future. And when you live in the desert, you know, power and water are crucial.
Right.
So.
Right. Chris, are there any other future projects that you see coming in partnership?
Listen, there is so many, you know, the Southeast Mesa and everywhere around Mesa Receipt Development, they all need power. And they don't need just a little bit of power. They need a lot of power. And as you know, Linda was saying earlier, it's getting hotter. The demand by these manufacturers, whether it's a data center or even a manufacturer or just residential growth, they all need power. And so we're always working with SRP to look out into the future and see what the needs are. Now what's happened is that demand from the growth has happened so fast that we often hear that we just, you know, getting to them quickly enough has really become the biggest challenge. But SRP has been very flexible and adaptable to try to make that happen. But when you look at the scale and the amount of energy coming into just Southeast Mesa, it's just incredible, right? I mean, to provide these data centers and now manufacturing centers, but it's, when people talk about economic development is getting power to the users. And so I would say all of those projects that you see in Southeast Mesa are important, and there's more coming, but some of them are just waiting for the power to show up, right? And I can think of one like Zenergy. It's out there on the east side of Gateway Airport. What's cool about them, they're cool because they provide cooling systems for these big data centers, but it reduces the water consumption tremendously. But, you know, again, they're in the manufacturing business. They need lots of power. So we're excited to continue to see that growth, and thanks to our partnership with SRP, it will happen.
Yeah, great. And truly, Mesa has expanded as it has because of Chris's vision and working with our partners like SRP and all to make this successful and make it what it is today and the growth that's happening. So it was a lot of Chris's foresight. Chris, you want to share what you're going to be doing here in retirement? I think that would be interesting, what you and Shauna have planned.
Yeah, so that word retirement kind of sometimes suggests going and taking it easy. I don't think that's what my next 3 years is going to be. So back in November, Shauna and I were asked to serve as mission leaders for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So we have been assigned to serve in that capacity beginning in the end of June. So we'll be in Mexico City, the northwest part of that city, for 3 years, having the opportunity to work with the young missionaries you often see around in your community. So, you know, what can go wrong with 18 to 21-year-olds in a foreign country? I just can't imagine. It should be really easy. You know, I'm sure I'll never miss being a city manager. But we're excited. This is an opportunity for us to do something with our faith and being able to continue providing service and doing that and having a great adventure.
That's awesome. And Chris already speaks Spanish, right? And then you guys are both
Yo
learning.
no hablo español.
Yo hablo español, okay, no? And Shauna's learning it too, so that's wonderful. That's going to be a wonderful venture for both of you. And then you'll go, man, 4,000 employees was way easier to manage.
Police and firemen, they're a breeze.
I think PD and fire probably give Chris most of your headaches that you've had over the 20 years, right?
Yeah, you know, people who can poke needles in people's arms and people who carry guns. When you know,
right,
again,
right.
what could go wrong?
Right. Chris, Thank you, Chris. We appreciate all you've done for the city of Mesa. We want you to hold on stage a minute. Linda has something for you.
Oh,
I
And,
do. So knowing that you're moving to Mexico City, I wanted to give you something that wouldn't be heavy or that
thank you.
would take up little
Go
room.
past customs.
Oh, we didn't check that. No. My colleague Elin, here in the back with me,
Yeah?
she is very familiar with Mexico City
Oh.
and knows excellent restaurants. And so
Good.
we have gift cards for you and
Oh,
Shauna
wonderful.
for
Thank
some
you.
dinners out.
Thank you very much. That's very thoughtful. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Congratulations. All right. Thank you very much,
right.
both of you, for coming up
Thank
here.
you.
Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, thank you.
9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5.
I like it. Way to go. That was right on, Scott. Nice segue here into.
But not for long.
Great segue into now. It's your favorite time of the day. Is Mesa Morning Live Top 10. If I could welcome to the stage Semperfi Heating and Cooling, and please help me welcome Bill Kaiser to the stage. Welcome, Bill. Thank you so much. Have a seat. Bill, tell us a little bit about wait, did you want to finish that, Scott? Anything more?
That was
Okay.
perfect.
All right.
I thought it was.
Tell us a little bit about Semperfi Heating and Cooling.
Well, one thing that Chris forgot, in Mesa, we need power, water, and AC. That's a fact.
That's right. That is a fact. Those three things.
And Linda, we are a preferred contractor for SRP, so thank you very much for that.
Nice.
But Semperfi was founded by Jesse Keenan. He's my buddy. We actually grew up right here in Mesa. We started this about 10 years ago, right off Signal Butte, out of his garage.
Oh,
And now we employ over 200 Arizonians
wow.
and help support the community as well. So
So I live on Signal Butte. You live on Signal Butte. If I have an air conditioning problem, can I just
I'll run
over
over.
and okay, we'll just
Yeah.
come and ask you. Take
Yeah.
care of it, right? That makes sense. I like that a lot. Are you ready for your live top 10?
Let's do it.
All right, go for it.
What do we got here? First slide.
No-
Number 10, indoor air quality. So most customers that we run across are just really stressed out about their system turning on and turning off, cooling, reaching temperature. Something that they forget about is the indoor air quality and how important it is to your health. The air inside your home is usually 30 times worse than the air outside. We do offer services where we can come in and clean and seal your ductwork. We also use UV light technology that we can install in your system. It'll actively send out hydrogen peroxide molecules throughout your existing ductwork, killing 99.9% of mold, pollen, spores, bacteria, viruses, even the coronavirus as well. Very important.
Wow. Okay.
Number 9, home efficiency. So to help out SRP in the summer months, the more efficient that your system is running, the more comfortable it feels, the better the air quality, and most important, the lower your SRP bills are. So the home efficiency is very important. Again, sealing your ductwork, changing your filters, cleaning the system, things like that can really help out with how efficient your system's operating.
Good. Excellent.
Leaky air ducts. This is one of the leading causes to using an exorbitant amount of energy. Even brand new homes can have up to 20 to 30% air loss in your attic. No one really likes to hang out in an attic, so there's no point to cool it. The technician appreciates it when he's up there working in your attic, but you won't appreciate it when you get that bill every month. So again, we do offer services where we can seal that ductwork from the inside, bring that CFM loss down to 0 so you're not losing any air. All the air you pay for is now coming into your home.
Okay. These are great tips you're giving us.
Yeah, maintenance. If your filter looks like that, it might be too late. So, and I can't imagine what it smells like. But, you know, when your filter does get dirty, it can restrict that airflow. It does impact the efficiency of that system, also the indoor quality as well. And it'll make your system run itself overload and actually can cause premature breakdowns and failures. So definitely want to get regular maintenance done. And please don't try to fix it yourself. There's 240 volts going out to that condenser. I've seen, fried rodents, fried lizards in there, and so you can only imagine if you touch that and don't know what you're doing, you could definitely get injured. The Red Bull might work. I don't know. I haven't tried I haven't tried it, so it gives you wings. I don't know if it'll give you more air.
There you go.
All right, so I've seen stuff like this, all right, and I applaud the effort when I go out to the customer's house. But doing an investment into your system, I mean, again, what do we need? We need power, we need water, and you need AC. So making a proper investment into the correct system, the higher efficient systems, is only going to save you money. It's going to prolong the lifespan of that system. So it's also where you spend at least a third of your life. You're sleeping right under a vent. Hopefully it's cool air. If not, give us a call. But you definitely want to put money into your system. It's one of the most important appliances you have.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. That dog actually looks comfortable right there. So when Simplify does come out to your home and does an inspection, we offer a diagnostic where we can hook up specialized tools and reporting that'll give you live, accurate readings. So there's no guesswork. There's not, who is this guy in my house? It's right there for you to look at. You can see the accurate details on exactly how your system is operating in live time. That might work pretty well. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
I can't imagine where they're getting the power from, though, on that.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's got to have a couple batteries.
That little cigarette lighter wouldn't work right out, would it?
Maybe. I don't know. It might pop a fuse. I'm not sure. But you do want the right system for the job. So we size units here in Arizona. We obviously have to oversize the tonnage because of our extreme heat. So we typically size them around 400 square foot per ton. Meaning if you have a 2,000 square foot house, you need at least that 5 ton. Oh. You don't need it all year, but you definitely do in June, July, and August. If you try to undersize your system to save money, or if you put the wrong type of system in your home, it's just not going to function properly.
So how many square feet for 5 ton?
So 2,000. So we size it about 400 square foot per ton.
Oh.
Where if you were to pick a 2,000 square foot house up, put it in the Midwest, it would probably only have a 2.5, 3 ton system.
Yeah.
But if you had that here, you'd be fine until June, July, and August.
Right, that's right.
And you'd be kind of in a bad situation. That's me right there, actually, when I had hair. So I like the sweater too. So you do want to make sure that you have somebody out there that knows what they're doing. Simplify has a very strict training policy that we make sure that all of our technicians are highly trained. And the quality of the installs is paramount. So, when you have a company that we refer to as Chuck in the truck, which, might be your cousin or whatever, if they come out and do the job, it might be for a good price, but you're not going to get this guy,
Yeah,
so
right.
you want somebody that knows what they're doing to make sure that you're going to make it through the summer and not experience a breakdown. That looks good. I like that. So don't forget the plumbing, right? Simplify does offer plumbing services as well. A lot of people forget about their water heater because, hot water is kind of natural here.
Right.
But if you don't get those drained and serviced, they can cause emergencies and break. And usually when they do, it's not a fun time. They're going to flood you out, drywall damage and mold and things like that. So we do offer services where we can come out and do a flush and fill. We'll go ahead and service that for you and make sure that everything's doing well.
Awesome. All right.
Top 10.
Top 10. I love it. I love it. And this is the weekend we're going to start using all of these top 10 tips because it's going to be over 100.
I'd recommend it or I'll be out there.
Please tell me thank Bill Kleiser. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
All right. Well done, Scott. Please, now it's the time for our guests, our featured guest today, the Mesa Ho-Ho. How many say ho-ho cams and how many say ho-ho coms? I asked and they said either way, like tomato, tomato. So they said either one goes. So I'm going to say ho-ho cams because that's how we've been saying it for years. But it's time to welcome our Mesa ho-ho cams. which started in 1951. I have to say, I wasn't even born then, but the Mesa Ho-Ho Cams were already in operation. Really, they enhanced the experience of spring training here in Mesa, and they do many other community events, but they invest their time and resources for leadership, for youth programs, and help the less fortunate. Please help me welcoming today the former Big Ho, Paul Buser, and the current Big Ho, John Dennett.
Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Well, it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Perfect. Well done, Scott. All right. All right, welcome to both of you. Thank you. How long have you been Ho-Ho Cams? How long have you been?
He's been a lot.
28 years.
28 years. Do you have a business card now? After 28 years, did you get a card?
If I did, I wouldn't give it out.
Oh, okay.
No, I would.
I think I'm up to 16 years.
16 years, wonderful. Well, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what the Ho-Ho Cams do, that for those who do not know.
Well, at the end of every February until the end of March, the Ho Cans run spring training for both the A's organization and the Cubs organization. And what we do at the ballpark is ushers, 50-50, parking, gate entry, and what both the A's and the Cubs pay us for our service, and then we in turn give that back. But for example, last year the Ho Cams were part of 37 home games that between the two ballparks. Sometimes it's been up to 40. But we also did like Savannah Bananas this year, which even added to our, manpower, at the ballparks. But since the beginning, the Ho Cans have been a part of every spring training game that has been held in Mesa. In the beginning, I'll let Paul chat about the beginning, but that you mentioned since 1951.
51, wow.
Well, and to follow up on what Chris said, doing it the Mesa way, the Ho-Ho Cams, there were 35 gentlemen that were a spin-off of the Mesa Chamber, and they were led by Dwight Patterson, who, looking back, what a visionary, because through his relationship, he was able to convince Mr. Wrigley to take the Cubs, who were on Catalina, and move them to Mesa. And now, when you look at the Cactus League, we're looking at 15 teams, 10 stadium. In this last season, 1.7 million fans came to spring training. And then the economic impact from the 2023 study, $710 million. And here this, generated, Dwight is considered the father of the Cactus League. And looking back to what those guys had envisioned and where we are now, and again, 10 stadiums, 15 teams, it's absolutely amazing how we've grown.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many Ho-Ho Cams do you have now?
We have about 150 Ho Cam members, but then we'll have probably another 150 volunteers that people help us out through the season.
Wow.
So it's quite the crew.
For sure.
At every home game, there's probably about 100 to 125 Ho Cams that work different shifts and so on.
And who manages that schedule?
Well, the schedule, I manage the two ballparks, being the Big Ho.
Okay.
But we have just committee chairs that, like Paul is the head of parking, so he manages that. Then we have a gate committee chairperson,
Wow.
so on.
You have a plan. That's awesome.
We got a
and
plan.
I think you have something big coming up in 2026, a milestone for the Ho-Ho Cams?
We do. It's going to be our 75th anniversary as an organization, and we're going to try to make it kind of a year-long celebration. We're going to start with a kickoff at Ho Cam Park in February, but we want to get the participation of like the Chamber and the city and downtown Mesa and the different beneficiaries that we've served throughout the years, including the United Food Bank, and matter of fact, I met you at We Run Mesa with.
Yes.
So the Ho Cams, what we did for them it's a woman named Nicole Liba, and
Yes, yes. Oh, yes.
she gives out new sneakers to all these kids,
Right.
and the kids are just overjoyed. And and Nicole has a heart of gold, but just the fact that the Hocams can be a part of that, and participate with her. I mean, you were there, and the kids were. This one little kid wanted to give me $1 for the sneakers because he was so excited.
Yeah, and it really does change their lives. Something
does.
like that for these kids that don't have that opportunity. That was really cool to see that.
There's another group called Corbin's Legacy, and they go into schools that are underserved or just have kids that need help, and a lot of kids don't have lunches. So we gave the kids 6 lunches a week, Monday through Friday, plus 1 to bring home on the weekends. And again, it's just the joy in doing that is phenomenal.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what you enjoy about the Ho-Ho Camps, but I think that says it all. And
That and these guys in Burgundy. I mean, the camaraderie, the friendships. There's going to be a handful or not a handful, there's 3 that are going to be celebrating 50 years of service as a Ho-Ho camp.
Wow.
So,
Is anyone in this room?
no, not in this room. George is probably close. Within range.
How many of you, raise your hand if you're a Ho-Ho Cam in the, okay. Wow. All right, nice, excellent. You know, you talk about the money that you have for these projects, but I think you're here in part to also share a new way that we can support what you guys are doing, that other people on the outside can help support the Ho-Ho Camps.
I mean, as far as you can all support by volunteering. I mean, we're always looking for volunteers, and you know, if you're part of a nonprofit organization, reach out to one of us, and there may be some grant money, you know, available for your cause.
Yep.
Do you have anything else?
No. Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers because, again, the different stadiums, we're the only nonprofit in the Valley that actually has 2 stadiums. None of the other nonprofits do. So staffing Ho-Ho Cam and then staffing Sloan, you know, it gets to be a long day because, like, the parking lots open at 9, so our parking staffs are there by 8, and then, you know, the games could go to 3, 4 in the afternoon. So you're running big staffs for a very long portion of the day. And again, we've been blessed because between our association with the Cubs and with the A's, they've been fantastic to work with us. And again, everything that we can do, or every opportunity that we have, because we did the bananas, and then, you know, we do track meets, we do swim meets. We are now working with Mesa Public Schools with Tommy Eubanks, because we're going to get more involved with all of the high school championships in the city. So now that's a brand new program that we've just taken on. And so being able to do that, and again, generate the income to support all of the people that we want to support is really important. And the city of Mesa has, I mean, they've been great. And I mean, all of the volunteers that have helped us, I mean, you have no idea how appreciative we are supporting our membership. So again, to that we say thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like you are involved in a lot of different things outside of baseball.
We are. You know, I've always looked at the Ho-Ho Cams as a team. There's teams on the field and there's teams outside. And like the chamber is part of the team. The city is part of the team. And we all have a role to fill.
Yeah.
And during a spring training game, you know, the team outside the ballpark is just as important. We work hand in hand with Mesa Police, Road Safe, Pro-Am, and the Cubs. It's just the radios are going back and forth, but they all have to work in unison.
Wow,
it's pretty cool.
That's nice. That's wonderful. You do a lot for the community. How does somebody become a Ho? Are they?
Well, you have to be exactly.
A Ho-Ho Cam.
Exactly.
A Ho-Ho Cam.
Exactly.
Be careful what you say.
What in the world? What's going on here?
Yeah, just
Come on.
right.
how you answer that.
Calm down.
Yeah.
No.
I was just shortening it for time. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
The people, you know, that have a passion for it usually seek one of us out, and then they go through a nomination process and an election. And I mean, it took me 3 tries to get into the hose 16 years ago, because you can't. It's just not automatic. You have to go through a process.
Like what kind? Like you have to jump over a fence?
No,
or
you
what
don't.
do
You
you
just-
have to do? What process do you have to do to become a ho-ho cam?
You just have to know people. You just have to be in
Oh,
the right.
okay.
And then I mean, you have to, as a new member, you have to make an effort to meet the Charlies and the Debs and so
Gotcha.
on.
So the $100 bill in my pocket
That
would make
won't
me.
do it.
Oh, okay, that won't work. Okay, just checking, see what.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's a process. It's not just something that it's a prestigious position to be in for
But
sure.
you do. Every one of these people have a passion.
That's awesome.
And some people they want to get into it to, expand their business or whatever. And this is a service organization, and you're
Yeah.
there to work.
That's wonderful. So I think you already said this, but you don't have to be a ho-ho cam to help at these events, right? Or do
No.
you?
So we have the HOCAM members.
And then
that
the
are,
non,
then,
right.
then there's volunteers that handpick 5 to 7 games, per season, and do their shifts. Like Sally is fantastic. She runs 50-50 at HOCAM Park. So the people who we give money to, she calls on them to help sell the 50-50 to benefit their own
Yeah,
organization.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
really nice. And then where do people go to learn more about the ho-ho cams?
www.hocams.org.
Okay, that's good. And then I think a big question here that some people here want to know is tell us about where can you get the ho-ho cam beer?
Well, that's going to be a surprise.
Oh, okay.
No, we have a tailgate group called Hoville, and they've raised the bar on tailgating, and it's like, what is Hoville serving today? So what we've done is kind of like spun off a Hoville lager beer that we're going to sell through. We've already had commitments with Bobby Q's and RTO Sullivan's and a handful of other different groups to carry that brand.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it should be fun.
That sounds like.
Yeah.
I think we've learned a lot about the ho-ho cams this morning.
Hopefully you learn that we do more than just the spring training.
Right.
Being the title sponsor for the public schools and their sports, I mean, every athlete that has gone through Mesa Public Schools will know the ho-ho cams when
Yep,
they're done.
that's wonderful.
And hopefully they will come back around.
And then they'll learn to serve too.
Yeah,
I love it.
they wanna
Thank
serve.
you. Please help me thank both Paul and John for coming in today for the ho-ho cams. Thank you guys both very much. That was wonderful. Thank you. Paul, thank you so much. Scott, this was Scott's first time on Mesa Morning Live. What'd you think?
I thought it was exhilarating. I especially like the ho-ho cams.
You survived, and you did awesome. I loved your transitions.
Thank you.
Please, thank you, Scott Haar, as our musical guest today. Also, thank you to Downtown Rendezvous for the breakfast, and thank you to SRP for your sponsorship, Linda Brady for joining us on stage. Also, big thanks and congratulations and a best of luck for Mr. Chris Brady here for the City of Mesa and for joining us today. And thank you for your ongoing support of Mesa Morning Live here since 2012. So they've been doing this for 13 years, so thank you for that, Chris. Also, big Bill Kleiser for Simplify Heating and Cooling for the top 10. And Paul Bruiser and the big ho, John Dennett, for being our featured guest today. Extra special thanks to our sponsors again, SRP, Gateway Bank, Copa Health. And if your company would like to sponsor Mesa Morning Live Show, please contact anyone from the Chamber team. Our next show is August 8th, and we're excited to announce that the special guest that will be coming here on that day is the Olympian Carrie Walsh. Don't wait to get your tickets. They're going to go fast, so get them early. All right, let's turn it over to Scott for one more song. Thank you, Scott.
Hello, I'm Scotty G. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when I'm stuck in Folsom Prison and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps rolling on down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy and don't never play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Yeah. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. I bet there's rich folk eating in a fancy dining car. Well, they're probably drinking coffee, smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. But those people keep a-moving, and that's what tortures me. Well, if they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train's mine, I bet I'd move it on a little further down the line, far from Folsom Prison. That's where I want to stay. And I'll let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away.
Awesome. Great. Thank you all for coming today. We appreciate that. Have a wonderful day.